after testing the petrol generator waveform, which is actually pretty clean, I wanted to do a little bit more of an update. So I've got two uninterruptible power supplies. I've got the Cyber Power one, which is that one there, and I've also got the I'll flip. My mind's gone blank now. Right. As I've also got the MGE, which I run other equipment on if there's a power cut. So what I wanted to do was do a comparison check. Obviously, as I don't want to connect my scope directly to the mains, because I'm always worried about possible. Well, if one of the legs of the inverter or the generator, the petrol generator, for example, if one of the legs on the output is neutral or the live is grounded, you could blow your scope up, because what can happen is if you've got a live terminal coming out and it's on the wrong leg, you have a ground, as the scope is grounded basically, right? It's got a ground on the earth pin. If that pin is connected to one of the ground on the scope lead, and that lead is connected directly to a power supply which has a live terminal on it, you can blow everything up. That's the reason why I was running the test on the isolation transformer for safety. Now at the moment, I've got my choke transformer, which is down here. I'll put it down here because so there's my scope leads attached to it. I'll put it down there because it's heavy, and I was really worried about this cabinet, because this cabinet is really not, it's got a lot of weight on it as it is. So right, at the moment the Cyber Power, which is what we're measuring right now, is on AC mains. Right, I'll get you close up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, get you a bit higher up so you can get a bit of a clear shot of my scope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the power supply, the mains, off on the Cyber Power, and let's see what the Cyber Power waveform is. We're going to compare it to what we got yesterday on the petrol generator, right? So I'm just going to flick the switch. Right. Look at that. That's pretty messed up, isn't it? Yeah, there's a lot of ringing in there. Let's see if I can go up to higher. Right, look at the ringing on that Cyber Power, and this is running my computer equipment right now. My main computers are running on this. Look at that ringing. That is what they call ringing, when you get a big spike and it's like a bell ringing, and that's an inductive ring that we're getting. So let's go back down to where I was. I think it was on there. So that is what we get on the Cyber Power, which is running at the moment. And if I go to it says we've got 45 minutes of battery time, and it's running at a load of 10% right now, so that's running on my equipment, right, except for the oscilloscope, because that's running on the other ups right now. So we're the battery capacity is 81%, which means it's, yeah, quite a while to go. Now let's go and switch over. Let me put the mains back on that end, but that ups. Switch that one back on the mains. Right, so that one's now running back on the full AC mains, right? So now I want to do a test with the choke on the other ups. That's the MGE, right? So I'm going to unplug my lead for the choke, which is here, off here. That waveform will disappear now, and I'm going to move my choke. I don't trust this handle yet. I haven't finished putting the thing on it, so I'm going to move this over here to the other socket for the other ups. Right, I don't have to move the camera, it's in a good place. So Right. I suppose I'll give you a view actually what I'm doing. So I'm basically going to plug the other. So this white lead here, this heavy duty white lead, goes down to this socket to the other ups, right? So I'm going to plug that into this socket. Right. So now that waveform is on, let me go back to waveform. That waveform is now on the MGE. Now I'm going to turn the AC mains off on the MGE. So the other ups will then give us its waveform, what it produces when it's running on battery. Right, so right, so that's what the MGE is doing. It's a pretty dirty waveform actually, it's pretty square waved, but my transformer, the choke, is actually rounding the corners a little bit. So we're getting a little bit of rounding, a little bit of smoothing on the corners there. And obviously I've got other equipment connected to it as well, so that's going to influence the waveform. But yeah, and the MGE beeps when it's on battery. Well, the cyber power does as well, but I turned the beep off on the cyber power, and I couldn't turn the beep off on the MGE because there's no function to do that, so it's annoying. I might just disconnect it at some point. But anyway, you can see the difference. The petrol generator actually has a much, which we did yesterday, has a much cleaner waveform than what the uninterruptible power supply has. And if that can run on my computer equipment without damage, then that basically means that the petrol generator can also run my equipment without any damage, because it's even cleaner. So that's, I wanted to record that so you could see. I'll switch the mains back on the other uninterruptible power supply. I'll move that back over here. I'll unplug it and bring it back over here, because I might trip over the wires, because it's quite a long stretch over here. So yeah, I thought yesterday it would be interesting to see the difference, and that's what it is. Plug that back into the cyber power one. So that's back on the cyber power now. I do prefer the cyber power. It definitely seems to have it seems to be better anyway, but the MGE seems to be more square. Do you know what I'm saying? It's got a more square wave, whereas the cyber power seems to be more linear. It does have a lot of ringing on it. It does have that horrible ringing, but I don't think that's going to be a big issue really. It's what's important is the actual waveform is rounder. Anyway, so that's the update. What else was I going to do? I can't remember now. Anyway, that's the update. I'll put this video link in the description of the petrol generator, so people can follow through and compare, you know. Right, thanks for. Oh yeah, the other issue is my phone's been, yeah, it's driving me nuts. Yesterday I was trying for over 8 hours to trying to get the USB to work on my computers. You know, it's the host computer is XP, and my guest operating system is Ubuntu on a virtual machine. So, and I couldn't get the host drivers for the USB to work. So that's the reason why I don't make many videos and upload them separately, because I have to transfer everything over Bluetooth, and that takes, well, it took me 8 hours to transfer that petrol generator video yesterday, because I accidentally went and hit the spacebar, which closed the copy process, and I had to start all over again. So it's really annoying. So I'm going to have to try and I'm going to see if I can if I go to a local phone shop and see if I can do an exchange or something to get a phone that works on USB from my computer, you see. I'm going to see if I can do that and get something of equivalent capacity, because this phone's got about 3 gigabytes of RAM. It's quite fast, and yeah, but it's just that it's annoying when I want to copy files, large video files, over to the computer. It just takes forever, and Bluetooth's useless. I tried network sharing, tried to do it over the network, and that's just as bad. It's unreliable. As soon as the phone goes to sleep, it breaks the connection and it interrupts the transfer, and then you end up losing everything you've done. So you might have spent an hour or 2, 3 hours or something transferring a file, and you end up having to start all over again, and it's really driving me nuts. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you an update on what I've been busy doing. I've just had my plate full with all sorts of issues I've been trying to deal with in the last few weeks, and yeah, just trying to fix little things. And well, I've been trying to chill out a bit with the drone as well. Well, anyway, that's it for now.